Hi everyone,
Hello.
Liz and Isaac here from Vibe Living Travel, and today we are going to talk about our time in Nova Scotia, Canada. So if you are new here, we are Vibe Living Travel. We packed up our family, left the United States, sold everything, well, almost everything, to take a world traveling adventure where we are going to be world schooling our daughters for how long?
Anywhere from 1 to 3 years. Our first year is just figuring it out, kind of. But I mean, if it goes as well as it's began, then we'll continue, I'm sure.
And it could be, eventually looking for a place maybe to relocate to as a family, a place that we all feel good about and feel
At home.
Yeah, at home. Yeah. This video is going to be talking about all of our 2 weeks stay in Nova Scotia. So if you go back and watch our last 2 videos, the first one was about, talking about why we left the United States and our house sit that we started this big journey with. Our second video was about Prince Edward Island, and now this one is going to be about Nova Scotia. So we drove from Prince Edward Island to Nova Scotia. It's so funny because when I look at the map, I'm like, that doesn't look very far distance-wise. But
it's only this many kilometers.
Then I put it, yeah, I know. Then I put it into the GPS, and I'm like, it's 7.5 hours away. Okay, so it's a little longer. But our whole driving philosophy has changed since we've come to Canada. We're like, that's only 7 hours? That's nothing.
And I remember, when my dad lived 12 hours away, it would be a trip we would have to plan for a few months before we'd go, because that's a long ride.
It's stressful.
Yeah. But here, we just knocked out like 12 hours.
Yeah, just the other day, we were just like, whatever.
Yeah. Even our daughters are saying that. It's just 3 hours. We're good. And that was what we were hoping for the most, because we thought them being in the car and stuff. But luckily, we're a fairly traveled family, so they're used to the long drives.
Yeah. So we crossed from PEI, the Confederation Bridge, and entered into Nova Scotia, and we were driving down to the southern shore. So Nova Scotia is divided into 7 regions, and our goal was to at least set foot in all 7, and we made 6. So we're doing all right.
Not too bad.
We fell in love with Nova Scotia, and we're going to talk a little bit. We are about 72 miles or so away from our next stop. How you doing, Dad?
I'm doing.
Dad's been driving all day, and I much appreciate it. Because I like to be the passenger princess, but I will be doing my fair share of driving because we are going to be driving a lot around Nova Scotia.
What was the one of the biggest things that stood out for you in Nova Scotia?
Oh, the people and just the natural rugged beauty. It's, even though Prince Edward Island is an island and Nova Scotia, and they're kind of very close and they're different though. Nova Scotia is much more like true maritime fishing, that kind of focus.
Oh, yeah. You could even get your own little cage and go
everybody
fish
has
for your own
lobster
lobster. Stands that like in the States with like for wood and like campfire wood or whatever. Yeah. They have stands where you can get a cage and go fish.
Stayed down in Shelburne, which is along the Route 103 in the southern shore, and we were right on one of the bays. So where our camper was, we like to book things that are like people's property that they're renting out as extra income. We don't really like to look into like corporate stuff. We really want to try to help people local, very hyper local. So we stayed with another Mark, which I'm like, made it easy. Mark and Andrea, that hosted us on their land.
They were amazing.
Oh my gosh, so amazing. On their land in Nova Scotia, right on the water. It was literally so beautiful.
And they have a granddaughter that also lived there, so they're kind of in a homestead kind of thing. They rent out a few places. They have a couple other little spots that you'll see.
Yep.
But their granddaughter is like right in between the age of our daughters, so.
Built-in bestie.
Yep, our kids were out playing, and just having a blast.
There was just a lot of other kids around too.
Yeah, and then the people that were coming and visiting that had kids with them, it was just a little crew. And it was very, very cool to see. The girls be like, "I'm going outside." It got to the point where we're like, "Hey, no, you got to stay in the house."
I know, right? Like it's 10:30 at night. But I guess the only thing I would say was the downside to where we were specifically was the weather. Unfortunately, we did have a lot of rainy days down there in the southern shore.
And of course, being right on the water, the fog and stuff like that.
So we just got to our place in Nova Scotia. And you guys, check this out. Oh my gosh. Oh, hello. Hello, ocean.
Hello, paradise.
I know.
You know that's
right? Hello. I live here for the next 2 weeks. But you guys, check this out. Figured out the lawn dart situation. We got a little grill and a hammock, some chairs, fire. Oh, and then this, like I said, is a dark. It's a dark sky area as well. So here's the place. Cute. Whoops. Couple of little chairs. That is a pull-out bed, kitchen, stove, microwave, fridge, TV, dining space, some storage. Back here to our sweet little shower and toilet and our bedroom. I wanted to show you guys this place that we're at. Is really cool because it's got a couple of other little cute cottages around the property. You know us, we love us some real estate. So as you come around this curve here, it kind of comes in like a big circle. Like that's the main house. That's our little trailer. And then here's this little bus. So stinking cute. How is that? And then that one has the outhouse back there. And then there's some cool, oh yeah, everybody's got a great view. The view is definitely amplified in each space. There's a couple like little pull-ins, like if you have an RV and you want to just pull it in yourself, you can do that like right up here. Then there's that little cottage, this one, which is right on the sea. That's a beautiful view for that one. So aren't these so cute though? And then like I said, there's a couple for RV space. So that is our little Airbnb in Nova Scotia, Shelburne area.
I love to be able to just take this drive every day.
I know, this is like our main view all the time. This is all kind of like marshy lands. I saw a heron earlier when I was...
A what?
A big Bad lobster. So we are near this lake. We're like right in this area right here. So there's this whole road that goes all the way around the outside. And this here is the Bay of Fundy, which has the highest tides in the entire world. Lobster chowder. What? You don't want any, Elena?
Do you want to try it?
Is it hot? Are those potatoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to try. I ate all the butter.
You ate all the butter? Like just plain?
Yeah, finger food.
Butter is good. What'd you get, Isaac?
What?
What'd you get?
Lobster poutine. And I'm going to be poutine this in my mouth.
I love me some rice butter and soy sauce. That's like one of my favorite things ever.
Right? Oh my goodness. What we just had for lunch.
We were just having a conversation about lobster and how delicious it is and how much it's so interwoven into the local community and the economy and everything here in Nova Scotia. We just got done eating at, what was it called? Captain Cat's.
Yes.
A lobster shack in Barrington, Nova
Where's that
Scotia.
sticker
So
on
we
it?
always tell people what we're doing, like every place we go, and we've gotten so many gifts from people, which is so lovely and sweet. But today they heard about what we were doing and they gave us these. Oh, the pin's gone off of it. Where's the pin? Oh, okay, hold on. Whoop. You got, show it. Okay, yeah, so the little pin, it's like the lobster capital of Canada is what their claim
It's so
to fame
awesome.
is, which I'm here for. And Isaac had lobster poutine, and I had a lobster roll because that's usually what I get, and theirs is award-winning, and I can see why, because it was delicious.
Oh, it's like
Okay, Canadians, Nova Scotians, we just passed the crash site for the Shag Harbor UFO. What is that?
The next little region that we wanted to explore was the Yarmouth region, which is in very western Nova Scotia. And we found that this area was very lovely. We went to a little park there called Frost Park and just kind of walked around the downtown a little bit. This is also the place that we ended up going to do our laundry because we didn't want to further burden Andrea, although I'm sure she would have done it for us. We had a bunch to do, and we just wanted to get it
we don't want to
done.
ask too much.
Yeah. So we ended up going to K&D Laundry in Yarmouth, which
was awesome.
shout out to them.
Yes.
Patsy and Helen, I will never forget those ladies, were the nicest people. I swear, they were so kind, and just from the moment we walked in, I mean, she was just like, oh my gosh, anything I can do for you, welcome. Like, this is a laundromat, okay?
Yeah.
It's not like a fine dining establishment or anything.
And I noticed when people would be done with, like they pull their laundry out, they would go over and wipe them out.
Yeah.
Make sure no one left laundry.
Not only that, there was so much, like, if you had extra time on your dryer, they'd be like, hey, does anybody, need this extra? I got some time left. We had a blanket that didn't end up cleaning very well, and it could have been our fault that we put too much in the washer. But either way, they took total responsibility, and they were like, "Oh, we're going to use this other machine, and we'll pay for it, and it's going to be fine." Like, it was just.
Sorry, you got to stay longer.
I know.
We're like,
gosh, we're like, we feel sorry
good
for
with this.
you because we're keeping you here, and
they had a table that had puzzles.
Oh,
they
yeah.
they had a spot where there was free clothing. People would come and just have a little spot. So if you needed something, you could get some free clothing, stuff like that. And what we're doing on our drive is, as we need stuff, we get it, and as we don't need stuff, we leave it or donate it.
Mm-hmm.
So it gave us a spot to also leave some donations for other people and some things that we didn't have to carry around with us. So it was such a sweet place. Now we met a few other interesting people there. I don't remember their names actually off the top of my head, but there was one educator, and she just adored what we were doing. She thought it was the best thing on the planet that we were taking our girls, and she says she knows a family that actually began traveling as a couple, and then they had children on their travel. And she said these kids are some of the most well-rounded, grounded children I have ever known. And that's what we want for our girls.
Yeah.
We want them to know that the world's bigger than just a little spot in Michigan.
Yeah.
And it's important.
And that the American culture isn't the end all be all either. We're not a big actually majority of anything, that there's so many other people that look more like them too out there.
Yeah.
And we just want them to see and learn and experience all of it. So that was Yarmouth. That kind of concluded, I would say, our first week there. Mm-hmm. We spent most of our time there in that southern shore area.
Okay.
We should do, how can we get this? With the big selfie thing?
Yeah.
Because this is a compass.
Daddy.
We're doing a docu-series now, but we're sitting and chatting a while here. This is Frost Park, which is right here on the harbor. It's absolutely beautiful here, even though it's a little bit of a foggy day. We're enjoying it. And
now, isn't this supposed to be the sunniest place, or is that?
Nova Scotia is one of the sunniest provinces in Canada. Although for the last 3 days we've been here, it's rained too. But I still have hope.
Yes, and that's kind of like still spring vibe a little bit, I guess.
True.
Get a look, Elena. Behind us there's a fountain and gazebo, and it's just such a relaxing space, and this is one of the reasons that we wanted to travel, to get time like this and do stuff like this with our little ones and not be rushed.
So we're here in Frost Park in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, and in part of the park there's an old cemetery. Look at this, check this out. This is like old. I can't even. Okay, 1817. This is born 1796. So I read today that Nova Scotia is supposed to be one of the sunniest places in Canada. And this has been how it's been for most of the time that we've been here. So we're hoping for sun tomorrow, perhaps. We had it a little bit today, and of course the first day that we came it was absolutely beautiful, but we drove most of that day. But we're hoping that this clears off, it warms up, and we can get around to the other parts of Nova Scotia. And it could be that this is just weather where we are too. So this is a big place. We could go to other places. So literally 10 minutes ago, I was talking about how Nova Scotia is the sunniest place, but all we've seen is fog. And now, what the heliante is this? Like literally, we just drove out of the fog, and now it's like completely clear blue skies, 100% blue. So I guess I answered my own damn question, which is that the shit changes just like Michigan. If you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. And just like that, we are back in the fog. But we realized it's because we're getting closer and further away from the coast. So the Shelburne area is in the southern shore, and it's very well known for the Black Loyalist settlement. And so we learned a while ago that Isaac's family has some Canadian roots, and so we're some of the Black Loyalists.
It was really cool because when we went to the museum, I met another Isaac, and he is also a descendant of people that have come through here and stuff like that. And I mean, we could be related. I don't know.
So the Black Loyalists, if you don't know the history, during the American Revolutionary War, there was a group of people that were promised their freedom in exchange for loyalty to the British throne. And so what they did was they took Black people from the plantations where they were enslaved, and I guess gave them their freedom. Yes. I'm not really sure. I don't think they were truly liberated, but they ended up settling, that group of people ended up settling in that southern part of Nova Scotia. And
there were some free Black people already that also came,
yes.
Because to my understanding, my mother's side of the family did not experience slavery as my father's side of the family had.
That was one of the things we did, was we went to the Black Loyalist Museum and Heritage Center, and we learned, we were able to walk through the paths of certain people and their journeys through where they came from in the States, and then how they got to Nova Scotia and where they went from there.
Chronology's timeline of some important history of African history, American Revolution, the two proclamations for the origins of the Black Loyalists, if you want to call it, and then 1783 is when their arrival here in the Maritimes. And the information that we usually have is sort of ends in 1792 with what we call the Black Exodus to Sierra Leone, and this is when 1/3 of the Black Loyalist population relocate to Sierra Leone.
Is enslaved in South Carolina by Ralph Izard. The Izard family of South Carolina is a politically and socially active family. Part of the aristocratic class, they enslaved hundreds of Africans in both the urban and rural plantation settings.
We are dealing with the zero internet thing again, and this time we weren't able to get it to connect from our first stop because the place ended up closing and we were like walking around outside, so we couldn't get back in, which was our own fault. But so now we've used a old-fashioned map to get around, but now I told Isaac that I'm happy to drive because he's been driving. Say hi. He doesn't look happy. But I told him that I would be happy to drive because I wanted to take this specific route back now that we have our map.
It was a ruse.
It was a ruse. What are you even talking about? All I told him was that if he wants me to drive, he has to read the map and use our little Instagram camera thing, because the route that I want to go, I want to get some footage from that. So I don't know what his problem is, but he's now saying that he guesses he will just continue driving. I have like about 5 more miles.
You said that like 20 miles ago. Each time.
I know.
5 more miles.
I think it's
just 5 more miles.
Just the kilometer conversion thing. It's throwing me off. Okay. Yeah, middle La Havre. Okay. Yeah, we're like, and now we're gonna be in Upper La Havre.
Were we into the lower half a minute?
I think we were. Cutie cute little houses. So we decided on that we were going to take a little weekend getaway trip, and we ended up getting a hotel because we wanted to go to Cape Breton Island.
It's even earlier than you would normally wake up for school because it's only 5:30 in the morning at our time. Yeah. We are headed to Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. Hopefully we're going to see some whales.
So Cape Breton Island, if you aren't familiar, is one of the regions of Nova Scotia. It is an island, and it is home to the Cabot Trail, which is one of the most scenic coastal drives in probably the world. I don't know. It's very beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And so we went and we did the entire drive. We drove from Shelburne to Cape Breton and went and did the entire Cabot Trail in the same day. It was a lot of driving. But we ended up renting, like I said, at the hotel we stayed in Sydney, Cape Breton, and we got a room, and the hotel had a water slide, which is really cool. It was the Hampton. And so the girls loved that. We ended up
Mom
going.
loved it too.
I did. It was a fun water slide. And Cape Breton is so beautiful, and we really got a hold of the Instagram 360, I feel like, on that drive. We had this big long selfie stick that we could like stick out of the car and like draw along. So you guys will have to see that footage. It was
Great footage.
Very beautiful, very beautiful. We stopped and had a little picnic on the beach, and we thought we saw some whales. Well, we're gonna call them whales.
Yeah, and we'll let you guys see a little part.
Yeah, we're gonna say they were. We're not totally sure.
Hi from Cape Breton Island.
Poutine. What'd you get?
Beer batter, fish and chips.
What'd you get?
Chicken and fries.
Chicken and fries.
Mom got lobster.
Was that fun? Emmy, you want to know?
So we got back from Cape Breton. We just spent one night there and got back kind of late because it was because we ended up going to and I think I'm going to say this wrong. Melmerby Beach, which is one of the best beaches in Nova Scotia, and it is in another region that we didn't. I'm trying to remember what the region is called. It's like the North.
Isn't that where the water is
Northumberland.
supposed to be warmer?
It was, yes. Where it's supposed to have warm water, clear, nice, great beach. And so we went there and we stayed for a few hours, and then the rain just passed us. Like we ended up lucking out.
As you can see, we've been getting some sun.
Yeah. But yeah, so Melmerby Beach was beautiful.
Yes.
That second week, we decided to go into Halifax because we hadn't been to that part yet. And we're looking at the map, and I said, we wanted to get also up to Burnt Coat because we've been hearing a lot about the Bay of Fundy and how the tides are really cool to see the differences in the rising and the falling of the tides. So we decided, we went to a little cat cafe in the morning, right outside of Halifax called Otis and Clementine's. It was lovely. And the woman, Ellen, the owner, who was also a Spanish teacher. I was trying to get us into a Spanish class, but we were too late in the season.
Right.
But she owns it, and she just had the cutest little kittens in there. The girls love cats.
Had so much fun.
Yeah, they do, and they did. They really loved it there a lot. We ended up getting a couple books that we're reading. And then we ended up driving to downtown Halifax, and we went to the Citadel, and we saw like traditional bagpipes and like changing of the guard stuff kind of thing.
Yes. And people were allowed to shoot muskets.
Yeah, it was very, it was an interesting place, and it's, we've been to a lot of kind of old cities that had to defend themselves against, for various
invaders,
wars.
yeah.
So it's, a lot, and some of that infrastructure is still in place. And Halifax is a really cool downtown, and we really liked it. I wish we could have actually spent more time there, but
maybe next year.
We were kind of at that point, I think, still in the let's go look at the nature stuff, as opposed to the city.
Right.
We're in the city part of our trip right now. So we ended up going up to Burnt Coat Park, which is north in I think it's in the Annapolis Valley region. And that was really fun because you have to time it though. If you're going to go to Burnt Coat, you have to time it with the tides. You need to look online to see when the tide is going to be coming in and out, because if you go and the tide is in, it's just going to look like the ocean.
Or if you're out there and it comes in and you're not prepared for it, you're stuck.
Yeah, until
you're
it goes
a rescue
back
person.
Yeah. So, but the difference in height between the tides is like
crazy.
It's huge, and so basically, once the tide goes out, you can walk on what was the ocean floor.
So some of the boats and ships that were up were sitting on the ocean floor waiting for the tide to come back in and bring them back up. I mean, it was really, really an amazing experience.
Beautiful.
And it's like being on another planet.
It was. It felt like being on Mars.
Hi from Halifax.
high from the ocean floor.
Stop on our Nova Scotia journey was to go up to Briar Island and Digby. And I can honestly say that in all the places that we visited in Nova Scotia, that was my favorite little section, was the Briar Island and Digby part of it. I really liked that area a lot. We ended up, so we drove up to Digby, went all the way out on the Digby Neck, and then you have to take 2 ferries, which both are free. That was nice.
I did find a restaurant named after me.
2 ferries to get to Briar Island, which is, I'm pretty sure, the furthest west that you can go in Nova Scotia. And so we that was our first time on a car ferry, which was pretty cool. But so we went on 2 different car ferries, and then we got to Briar Island, and we were just kind of like driving around the I wouldn't even call it a town. It's like the village, I guess,
yeah.
little area. And then I saw the signs for the lighthouse. And so I'm like, why don't we go out there and see if we could like maybe see some whales or something? And so we drove, and I'm like, geez, this island is way bigger than I thought it was. But we ended up driving and dirt roading it. And we're like, we're still going? What the heck? So we finally get out, and we get to this lighthouse area, and it was like the most beautiful place.
Yeah, yeah.
There was this guy, and we met these other people there, Liz and John.
And John, yeah.
And they had just recently moved from Niagara to Nova Scotia.
Oh, and Andrew.
Oh yeah, so we met him too. But
Drew.
We saw whales, we saw seals, we saw birds. So we got the full experience off that coast there. It was so beautiful there.
Yeah.
I mean, there was this guy that was like parked up on the cliff, just sitting in his truck, kind of overlooking the ocean and the cliffs. And I'm like, he looks like he's doing a commercial for Toyota or something. Like, it was so picturesque and magical, and the lighthouse and the flowers, and it was just, I think that was like one of the most beautiful places. We stayed there for hours.
So, yeah.
Hours.
And Liz and John, they gave us fruit. They gave us spaghetti squash that we actually prepared and ate.
It was good.
You know, and it was
she
really
taught
cool
us about this app, flash sales or flash something, where you can get like good deals on produce and groceries in Canada.
And meat.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like a grab bag. So they have a set price.
Yep.
You pay for the bag and you get what you get. Kind of like Chopped.
Yeah.
You know, but it's some amazing stuff, you know, which we are now going to take advantage of because that's going to also help with our budget.
Yeah.
The
grocery budget's been a little blown out here in Canada. Exchange rates on our side, but it's
still
expensive.
Yeah. Seeing the receipts, you know, it definitely.
I'm like, all of this was $100, but not so much stuff anyway. But yeah, we loved, and Digby, we ended up going back into Digby and having some ice cream and just kind of walking around the little downtown area. It was very, very sweet. We really, really just liked that area, I think, the most. And I have been since looking for real estate in Nova Scotia because I fell in love with Nova Scotia. It's absolutely beautiful, especially because we heard they don't get snow. Not some places do, like Cape Breton does, but where we were and where we would love to maybe eventually own real estate, they don't get snow there. So,
I mean, it gets chilly, you know, but they don't get snow, and that was all I needed to hear.
I know, and we're like sold.
I can handle chilly.
Good morning from Nova Scotia. It probably, it feels like that time in Forrest Gump where it like rained and rained and rained for all those months, and then Forrest was like, and then like one day it just stopped raining and the sun came out. Well, the sun hasn't come out yet, but it is stopped raining finally, and it feels like it has been raining for days and days and days. Because it has. We've been having to take day trips because it's only raining in our part of Nova Scotia. How fun. But we only have 2 more days here, and then we will be headed back into continental Canada and central Canada, I should say, to Quebec. And we are headed to Digby today to try to see some more whales. So hopefully we'll have some nice weather and see some really cool stuff.
We don't.
Oh, Emmy has to take her notes.
Must have the notes. The notes. I know, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Man, those are good. I've never had them like that. Those are pretty good.
10, 11, 12,
Yeah, they were like batter dipped. That place had good food.
We've never been here though.
Yeah, we didn't even know this was here.
We didn't even have.
Really?
No, we saw the sign about going to the lighthouse.
Yeah.
We always tried to take a side street.
That's how we are too. Once we leave the U.S., we don't want to go back.
Yeah, I don't blame you. All the stuff that goes
Even
on.
they're like leaving U.S. citizens are questioning us at the border.
It's so amazing. Look at it. It's just like a little.
It is. Oh, there's another one right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have an
So we have a
idea of what
trailer.
you want to build and what you want it to look like?
Well, no, because we're kind of build it all in one.
I don't even go in usually.
Keep the trailer, because we're in a trailer, so we'll keep the trailer and set that up so they can.
It's so.
Out in front of Freeport, the Georgia Port.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's the smallest of all the whale boats down here.
Hey.
Okay.
And it,
Come on, guys.
the
Take
other
me up
one
here. Maybe holding cannons.
Perhaps.
Okay.
Here, it really is very beautiful.
If
Yeah.
you would have ordered a cut, you could have done what I did. So, Mom, look.
So that was our Nova Scotia adventure. We really enjoyed our time with Mark and Andrea at their beautiful place in Shelburne. We got to know a lot of the locals and had a lot of lobster just really enjoyed our time. Nova Scotia is absolutely beautiful. The people are some of the nicest people we've met in the whole world. And yeah, we were sad to leave, but we were also happy because we knew the next place was going to be a condo with a pool. So that will be our Quebec City adventure on our next video.